Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Hanging with the Chads. I am Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner and champion of all time, Mr. Chad Boudreaux. How the hell are you doing today?
I am fantastic. We got UFC tonight. Louisiana boy going out there. Gonna have Lil Wayne walk on. This great. I can't wait, man.
Hey, and if you don't know, it's we're talking about old Dustin Diamond himself, baby. Last UFC match, he's fighting for the BMF title, and we all know what that means. We just can't say it on the show because we don't have our censor button. But him and Max Holloway is about to throw down in the
Yeah, it's gonna be
Smoothie
awesome.
Center tonight.
It's gonna be a good fight. I mean, third time they're fighting, and it's whew. Um, I mean, we'll get to it.
Yep. And that's UFC 318, ladies and gentlemen. But this episode today, it needs to be heard by a lot of people today. We told you from the very beginning we are an educational based athletic podcast. Yes, we are Marine veterans, we are athletic directors, we are educators, and our job is to educate the masses. And this show needs to be heard by coaches, ADs, parents, principals. It adheres. Um, Athletes all across the board with everything going on lately regarding some NIL, some recruiting, some impermissible benefits. We're going to break it down for you the right way. Ladies and gentlemen, we are only speaking about the state of Florida because where do we live, Boudreaux?
Hey, we're in Florida, but
We're in Florida. I don't give a shit. Well, I've already said one bad word. That's $1 for the swear jar. I don't care about North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, Tennessee, Texas, Ohio, Kansas, California, New York, any other state in America because their rules do not apply to me. Plain and simple.
true.
But before we get into that, we got some sports news, as Boudreaux was alluding to. Hey, I'm going to start off right now. The MLB All-Star Game.
How fun was that? How fun was that?
You hit the nail on the head. That was amazing. I literally think MLB needs to ditch the extra runner in for extra innings and just have a damn swing off. That's all they need to do, and count it for their home run stats.
Yeah,
You want
absolutely.
baseball? You want baseball exciting again? Let Mr. Kyle Schwarber hit 3 home runs in a row to add to his total, and by the end of the year, with all the extra inning games the Phillies play, he's going to have 100 home runs. There, baseball is back just like that. We helped you. Okay. Hey, Rob, Mr. Commissioner, take us up on this offer. We'll facilitate it for you. Hell, I'll throw the bat in practice. I don't care. But
Yeah,
hey, the all go ahead, Boudreaux.
that was a great way to end the game, man. Like, granted, the NL was up for a long time, and then my old Twinkie got the rally started and freaking came back and then tied it up. And then Schwarber comes out there, that swing off. I was questioning that whole thing the whole time. I was like, man, I don't know how this is going to look. I don't know how the old heads, because baseball's still run by the old heads. I don't know how they're going to feel about it. But then watching it, I was like, man, this is awesome. Yeah, you're right, dude. We need to put this in every game.
Yeah.
It would break. Everybody would love it, like, because everybody hates extra innings. Everybody hates overtime. Everybody hates all that stuff. Why don't we just do that? Because that was exciting. That was a good time.
You know who already does that though?
Savannah Banana.
The Savannah Bananas. They already do it. Now that we say that, Rob is not going to take that and use
Oh
it
no,
at
he's
all.
not. No.
We'll keep it in the All-Star game. Hey, but speaking of the All-Star game, tell me how ironic this is. Our favorite pitcher, Mr. Paul Skeens, still doesn't get run support in the All-Star game.
It just doesn't happen for the man.
Jesus, come on, man.
It just doesn't happen.
Come on, man. Hey, we it was the MLB draft this week too. I mean, congratulations to all the gentlemen that was drafted. I think there's one special one is the Holiday kid. Jackson Holloway's little brother, Matt Holloway's son. I'm sorry, I can't come up with his first name off the tip of my tongue right now, but he was drafted by the Colorado Rockies, number 4 overall. And that's obviously who their father played for so many years. If he's anything like his brother, he's going to be an outstanding athlete, man. That you got that whole family, all first round draft picks. Like, given realistically speaking, they were given the tools from the time they was a child. I mean, their father was a perennial all-star player his whole entire career. He hit dingers in Colorado. I mean, but neither one of them got his body frame. That's kind of weird, but hey, it's all good though. Congratulations though to all the gentlemen that was picked. I hope that you have great, amazing, successful careers, and hit some dingers for us. That'd be great. Any thoughts on that, Boo?
Yeah, no, it's just yeah, you said it, man. Like it's amazing to watch all these young guys, especially the first pick coming straight out of high school. Um, to be able to go and attempt because they still haven't made it yet, but at least now they're on that next step to make it to the show. It's going to be fun to see who actually is already ready and make that jump immediately, pretty much like Skeens did.
Yep.
But within the next couple of years, you're going to see a lot of those guys playing in the show. So it's like because college, especially if you played in college, you play in the big time leagues like the SEC, or you make it to the College World Series, you're already going to go to AAA. Like within a year, you're going to be in AAA because you're ready for it. So it's going to be fun to watch and see who makes it up there. But yeah, congratulations to all the guys that made it, that got picked.
Yeah, Ethan Holiday. Please forgive me, Ethan Holiday. I'll never forget your name now. Shout out Ethan Holiday. But hey, your LSU boys are killing it too. Kate Anderson. If he's anything like Skeens was, I mean, he'll be in the show. Hell, probably by September. Maybe at the beginning of the year next year. But this has got to be really great, though. Just one quick little news coming out of here: the number 6 and number 10 pick. The number 6 pick is Seth Hernandez to the Pirates. He's a pitcher from Coronado High School. His teammate was drafted number 10, a shortstop to the White Sox, Billy Carlston. How awesome does that got to be? Two high school teammates drafted in the first round. Now, I don't know the first thing about their baseball schedule. But we can probably look it up and see if they won a state title. I'm assuming you got a good pitcher and a good shortstop, you're going to win a few games, especially out in Cali. But that's pretty cool. Again, congrats to all the draftees this year. So we're going to shift a little gears going to the NBA. We don't usually get on the rumor mill. However, look, man, if y'all don't know about this, when LeBron opted in and then made those comments, the rumors started swirling. And right now, LeBron to Dallas. The insiders say the Lakers are expected to keep him, and Dallas reportedly isn't pursuing a trade, and having a $52 million contract makes it even more unlikely. I'm telling you, my money, if I could put the money on it, there's going to be some type of buyout. LeBron's going to be a free agent, and he's going to sign for a minimum. They obviously aren't going to trade him. You're going to have 10 teams, just like the KD trade. Half the damn league is going to be trading to make it work. I think it's going to be a buyout. And then it's going to be a stretched buyout like Dame Lillard. And then he's going to go sign with the Mavericks because, still AD's his best friend. And I don't care what anybody says. AD's not getting traded without LeBron's permission. And if they did trade him without LeBron's permission for Luka, LeBron is like, nah, dog, I don't want to be here. But I think that's what's going to go down.
I mean, I don't know, dude. Like, I can see where you're going with it. I could see him doing the buyout and then taking a lot less money, only because with taxes being so high in California and Texas,
there are no taxes in Texas.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I could see him going for less money. I don't know if it would happen though, if he would want to leave LA. I mean, there's a reason why he ended up in LA to begin with, and it wasn't because of everything else. So yeah, I'm not getting behind you on this one. I can see it. I just don't think it's going to happen, just because there's so many moving pieces that would have to happen for that to happen. Like you're saying, it would have to be half the league trading somebody to somewhere for it to happen. Yeah, I just don't see it.
Man, I don't know. There's too much smoke with this one, man. You're hearing it from like Shams and all of them, bro. And Shams just ain't gonna talk to talk. So I mean, it's going to be interesting. It's just something about it, man. It's just something about it. Just this whole episode, just something about it. I'm gonna say that's the word.
Yeah, that's the word of the day today. Something about it. Something about it.
Speaking of something about it, you have already alluded to it. UFC 318 tonight, going down in your hometown, New Orleans, at the Smoothie Center or whatever it's called. Your boy, Dustin Diamond Poirier, or Diamond Dustin Poirier, however you want to put it on, is going to have the greatest rapper alive, Lil Wayne, walking him out. The prop is Lil Wayne actually going to rap as he walks out? Because, UFC don't like that type of stuff.
True.
Is Lil Wayne going to rap him going out? And if he does, what song will it be? Also, he's going against Max Holloway. It's the BMF title. We all know the BMF title stands for the baddest MFer on the planet. I don't think that's a prop title. I think that should be defended in all weight classes. Hey, you want to prove you're the baddest man on the planet? Go ahead. But anyway, getting back into it, it's the end of the era, end of an era. Dustin has a very successful career. Shout out, Dustin. We're a fan of you. Obviously, Boudreaux's a fan. You're probably a second cousin to him because they're all related down there. But at the end of the day, how are you feeling going into tonight, brother?
Dude, I don't like I said, man. This is the third time they fight. First two, Dustin won both of them. But I think Dustin is gonna win it just because he's fighting in his hometown. Or fighting in his home state, not his hometown. There's so much hype around it. If he knows it's his last shot, it's his last fight. I love Max too. I think Max is an amazing fighter. Is the reason why he has the title. So yeah, it's going to be a fun fight. I think it's going to be just like the other two. They were brawls, man. They went and it was a great fight to watch. Like I said, I think Dustin's going to win it. I want to know if Dana's going to let Lil Wayne put the title on whoever wins it, though, because that was brought up in the press conference where who should put the title on him, and Dustin said Lil Wayne, and Max was like, "Yeah, I'm good with that." So yeah, it'd be cool to see who does that too.
Yeah, definitely. So the first fight they had was at UFC 143 featherweight. Dustin Poirier won in the first round by submission. Second fight, it went to a decision at UFC 236. Dustin wins. We have a submission and a decision. Now we're fighting for the BMF title. There's only one way that title should be won.
Yeah.
Someone, I think, right, knocked out. But now let's remember how Max got the title or defended the title last against Justin Gaethje. That last 15 seconds of the fight was the reason that card got saved. Now, do you think we're going to have an all-out brawl in this fight? I think
I do. I think it's going to be an all-out. I really do think it's going to be an all-out brawl because they usually do. Both of them. They both like swinging. I know they have none of the matches have been, like you just said, won by a knockout. But I think it's going to be some swinging for the fences going on. They both like each other. It's not going to be like one of those matches where they freaking hate each other, and it's going to be somebody's definitely getting knocked out in this one. But they both love swinging. They both love putting on a show. They probably won 5 fight of the nights between them, not just going against each other, just whatever fights they're in. So yeah, it's going to be a good show. I believe. I really believe it's going to be a good show.
Yeah, I think it's going to be great. I can't wait to see it. The highlights of what I can't wait to see. I mean, there's going to be something going viral tonight. And shout out to Dana White for letting Lil Wayne come out there. He doesn't do that often. Obviously, Dustin's been a good soldier for Dana. Let him go out on his own terms. It could start precedents moving forward, but it just ends up perfectly being a storybook ending for Dustin. Hopefully he wins it and walks out on top. That's what I'm putting my money on. No offense, Max. I'm going for the hometown right now. So, hey, that's our sports updates. Again, these are all own opinions, people. We we give you our opinions. If you don't like it, tell us
Whatever.
yours and come on the show, and we'll talk to you about it. You're always welcome to come on the show. Anybody ever. We'll let anybody on the show who wants to speak factual, opinionated sports. Right now, before we get into it, we're going to shift gears. We're going to take a real quick break, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into our main topic. And, this is if your toes are showing, you might want to hide them, ladies and gentlemen. Like me, I'm wearing some flip-flops right now. I might even hide my own toes when we get back. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by Chad Boudreaux. This is Hanging with the Chad. We appreciate you being here. We're going to be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Good morning. We're back. Thank you for joining us this lovely morning here in Central Florida. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner ever and tag team champion, Mr. Chad Boudreaux, ladies and gentlemen. Boudreaux, this show is basically the reason we still have jobs.
Yeah, 100% why we have jobs.
Ladies and gentlemen, this show is about impermissible benefits. If you are familiar with the state of Florida, it is policy 36 now. It's combined with recruiting. So we're going to break down what you can and cannot do. And if you're still confused, impermissible benefits used to be policy 37. That is now unethical acts. If you would have went to FIAAA, you would have known about the updates. Or if your AD passed the information, you'll know about the updates. So anyway, this is going to be a very sensitive topic for some. This is 100% educational based, ladies and gentlemen, and it's nothing that anybody in the state of Florida should be new to. This doesn't apply, like I said, to any other state in America. There is no general policy on here. Different states have different policies, and we're going to break it down for you. And you might not agree with it, but here's the good thing about that. You don't have to agree. You just have to remain in compliance with it if you're in Florida. And I will tell some stories about this because I've had, my few years of AD, we've had issues like this. So I'm going to speak factual information that I've seen firsthand. So let's start it off. Policy 36. As I said, it's now updated to recruiting and impermissible benefits. These are two of the most common areas in high school sports. Now, caveat, the state of Florida doesn't help, not the FSHA. The state of Florida doesn't help that it's a school of choice and anybody can go anywhere. That doesn't help the cause. I'll be the first to admit it. School of choice is when we got a damn transfer reporter on Twitter right now for high school athletes in the state of Florida, that's not, hey, I'm using my last 2 years of eligibility to go to such and such high school. And then he's tagging all the people in it. I mean, come on now, brothers. Come on.
Yeah.
But so let's talk about this, Boudreaux. We're going to stick away from the recruiting side of it, okay? Because it's all together. So we know that it's all going to be entwined. So there are things you can do for student athletes, and there are things you can't do, which is why it's called impermissible benefits. Gentlemen, ladies, this is not college, okay? And we're going to get into NIL later. This is not college, okay? So basically, Boudreaux, you're a coach back in the day. Did you have team meals?
Yes.
Did you have a team banquet?
Yes.
That is permissible benefits, ladies and gentlemen. There is nothing that says you can't provide food for your athletes. Correct?
Correct.
I have a fridge in my office filled with Gatorade bars and protein shakes. That is available for all athletes because I'm the athletic director, correct?
You said the key word in that. There's one key word and it's the rule of thumb that every coach and every administrator needs to understand. If it's good for one, it's good for all. Bingo. And as long as you make it available for all, it's okay. Mm-hmm. 9 times out of 10, it's okay. Now, obviously, money, no. But if you have food, if you have Gatorade, if you have water, and it's good for all,
Mm-hmm.
then 9 times out of 10, it's good for everyone, and you
Yep.
can do it. That is the rule of thumb. That's the rule of thumb that we all go by.
Yep.
Like you said, team meals. I'm not sitting there going with the starting forward. Hey man, I'm gonna go get you some food real quick. No, get the whole team meal.
Mm-hmm.
Team banquet. Hey man, I'm not just giving this guy the award. I'm giving everyone an award.
Yep. Yep.
You're fine. That's where people start falling apart though. Is one guy. We're gonna get this one guy meal because we need him to be at his A game. The rest of the team, who cares? I need this one guy, or I need this group of guys. Not everybody, just this group.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's where you start getting the mistakes. As long as you open it up for everyone, you're good. It's not impermissible.
Yep. That's 100% nail on the head. And, you know, the FSHA website defines an impermissible benefit as any arrangement, assistance, or benefit that is not offered or generally made to all students and or their families who apply to or attend a school or that otherwise is prohibited by FSHA rules. What did we just say?
All must be
You
good
know,
for all.
it must be good for all. Now, let's be very clear. The caveat: if I'm the head football coach, I'm not going to provide a pregame meal for the basketball team unless I'm sponsoring one. Correct?
Correct.
I will provide a pregame meal for the band or the cheerleading team because we're all together. Right. But I'm not just going to go out of my way and do that for a specific team. Okay. Unless senior night, I always got band, cheer, dance, football. I always put the seniors in there together. They had their own meal, the seniors. Now, the football team had their little private meal too. But the senior night is a totally different thing for me. All right. Because those kids are out there just like we are. So they need to be supported just like we are. You know what I'm saying? But according to the Florida High School Athletic Association as well, policy impermissible benefits. Now, this is the when it's still 37. They haven't updated it. There are things that are prohibited, and there's obviously we're going to go over the things that are prohibited. Okay. So the first thing that is prohibited is school-based financial assistance of any kind that exceeds the amount for which a student has been approved by an independent financial aid need. Now, that has nothing to do with a public school.
Yeah, but that's basically saying that that's trying to handicap your private schools and doing their recruiting and offer scholarships to go to a private school.
Yep. So if you have only been approved for 18,000, it costs 36. That is not more because that is still 18,000. Now, if you're approved for 10,000, it costs 36. That's more. All right. So, cash or like items such as credit cards, gift cards, debit cards, gift certificates, coupons, vouchers. Never really had an issue with this. Gift of clothing, equipment, merchandise, or tangible needs. Loans or assistance for securing a loan of any kind. Payment for any work or service that is not performed or is in the excess amount of paid work service. Here
That goes back
one.
to getting a job
Yeah.
and not doing the job, but getting paid for that job.
Yeah. It's back in the day, University of Tennessee with the Taco Bell issue. Hey, they was working at Taco Bell. No, they wasn't.
I mean, it's like the old mob rule, right? Oh, you get one of those union jobs, and then you didn't actually show up to your job, but you still got paid because you're a part of the mob. It's kind of the same thing. It happens in college. It happened in college, exactly like the '90s. A lot in the '90s, where they would say, "Oh, he's a car dealer. He's a car salesman," but he would never ever show up to the dealership.
He's a car salesman driving a damn Bentley. I love that one. That was my favorite one.
Right.
Here goes one for you. Free or reduced cost transportation. Hint, hint. Living on a full or part-time basis, regardless whether rent is paid, with any school employee, athletic department staff, representative of the school's athletic interests, unless legal guardianship appointed by the court of competent jurisdiction has been obtained.
Yeah, so that one happens a lot more often than people think. Where a kid lives 3 counties over,
all of a sudden starts living with his AAU coach.
Yeah, the AAU coach. Like there was before I became AD, there was a AAU team that came into the gym during one of our open houses, and we all basically told them to get out. It was a basketball team, and they were like, "What?" And we're like, "Yeah, no, this isn't gonna happen." It was just an AAU coach that was shopping his entire team. He's like, "Oh, they all live with me." I'm like, "No, they don't. Get out of here, dude." And I wasn't even the AD at the time. I'm like, "This is stupid. Get out, bro. We're not getting in trouble for this one."
Yeah, for real. Like, come on, man. Just have common sense with that now. Here goes some more for you. Free or reduced cost rent for housing, vehicles, and other items, which that honestly should be combined with a few over there. Full or partial payment of moving expenses or assistance of any kind for the physical move. Employment or assistance in securing employment or contractual agreement of any kind in which compensation may be paid. Here goes one. You ready for this one, Bujo? Take a deep breath. This one's going to be the stinger right here. Free or reduced cost to attend a sport or skills camp. And then the final that they have is any other form, arrangement, assistance, discount, or benefit that is not generally available to other students in the school or their families, or that is based in any way on athletic abilities. So that is impermissible benefits per the state of Florida. So, Boudreaux, if you're giving your kids Uber rides, is that free or reduced transportation?
It's free or reduced transportation. I'm giving them Uber rides. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, sure. But like that whole thing, like the whole ride thing, the spirit of that one is because what was happening is that there was kids that were living two counties over and couldn't be there for practices and games and things like that. So the coach would be like, "Hey, I'll just go drive them." That's what that rule's for. Yeah. Like it's honestly there for that. Because I mean, again, like kid's not living there, kid doesn't live in town. Like even with us with school of choice, like when you go do school of choice, it tells you flat out you as the individual and the family are responsible for getting the rides.
Yep.
To and from the school.
That is very true. So it's crazy because like I get it. This is where the coach in me comes in sometimes, and I want to be like, yeah, it's okay to do it, but it's not. It's black and white says it's not. If it's a legit safety issue, and you don't want a kid to walk home in a certain neighborhood, call the cops. Have the cops take them home. Like, and that's where people don't like, this rule.
And even with that, like I said, the spirit of the rules, because you didn't want kids from like it was part of that. It goes with that recruiting, which is why I'm glad they combined it together here in Florida now. Because there was people going 2 counties over. Hey, I want this kid on my team. I can tell them I can get them here by which way or that. But then, like for us, like I don't know if you guys have it, but we don't have what I had back in Louisiana, where we had activities buses. Where after
I missed them.
Right after practice, like there would be a bus that would come and it would take you home. We don't have that. Yeah. So I can see...
We can't even get buses to take us to games.
True. But I can see like where us as coaches and ADs and even administrators, like we're losing some of our athletes because they don't have that transportation. I mean, like you're in the same situation where if they want to take the city bus or whatever, they got to walk a mile down the road just to get to that bus stop, and then they have to pay
right in front of my house, right in front of the school.
Right. You're lucky. I got to go a mile down the road to almost all the way down to the point for them to actually get to a city bus to take them somewhere.
That's weird. A bus don't come all the way back there to y'all though. That's kind of weird. No. Maybe they don't want to go around the roundabouts.
Probably, I don't know. But yeah, like it's just like so. It's hard for us to sit there and tell a kid like. Yeah. Or expect one of our coaches to sit around for an hour waiting for whatever ride they have to come pick them up because they're not off work yet. Like it is frustrating, but I understand the spirit of the rule.
Yep.
And again, like you said at the beginning, like these just the rules that we have to follow, and it sucks in some spots that there's no leeway in this. But I mean, you can't give one leeway because it's just going to be just like everything. You give an inch, take a mile kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I'm cool with the spirit of the rule. I think the spirit of the rule is made for Chad Springer's private school, to keep everybody from recruiting and get them over here. I mean, I get it, and you're right. School of choice says you're responsible for your transportation. You want to go to that school, go ahead. However, if not, go to where you're zoned, where it's relatively. Let's be honest. In our school district, the west side of the county, our school zones are not that large because, I mean, hell, Poinciana is the only school zone that separates us, and Poinciana is 3 miles away from me,
Right.
4 miles away. So that's not a lot of walking, that the kids can do. However, we don't want kids to walk. There's a lot of construction going on. I get it.
And you don't want them walking on Poinciana. That's for damn sure.
Bro, you ain't been back there. They got the left side of the road done now, and now they're up against the back of the stadium now at Liberty. Ooh, boy, there is 0 lights out there. They're gonna get snatched up by a gator for real. But let's get back on track. So, like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that in previous states that I lived in, that's the clarification for you, that children have not been taken home by coaches, because it's different in every state.
Uh-huh.
Now, in this state, you can't have children in your POV. That is a state law, correct? Am I right or wrong?
No, you're right.
If it is a state law, which means the FSHA, the state of Florida, every FSHA policy is a law. That's what people fail to realize. There is a Florida statute that goes along with that FSHA policy. Now, I can't think of the one for recruiting. It's Florida Statute 56-12-2 or whatever. I don't know. Our county AD knows it off the top of his head. But if it is a law, they're giving you a lawful order, you're breaking the law if you're not following the rules. And yes, I get it. People can go back and forth on this. But if we can't have kids in our POVs, most schools have the little vans. Look, man, emergency situations, throw the kid in the van, take them home. That's why it has cameras in it. You can take the kid home. You know where the keys are. Like, transportation, hell, we have problems getting buses to go to games. Like, come on now. Like, you got to be smart. If you say you're about the kids, then you're about the kids, because after this short break, we're going to get into what's going to happen if you're not so smart and you get in trouble.
Well, even with the whole transportation thing, you got to be smart about yourself, right? Like, you take a kid in your car. Let's just say it wasn't a rule, but you take a kid in your own personal vehicle. It's your word against the kids. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to believe the kid. They're not going to believe you.
9 out of 10. More like 10.
You protect yourself. Don't put yourself in those situations. And that's like that's always what I tell every coach that comes across my desk. Don't put yourself in a situation where you have to stand in front of me, you have to stand in front of the principal, you have to stand in front of the superintendent, or you have to call a union rep in. Like, don't put yourself in that situation. Just stay out of those situations.
I got 4 rules that I tell all my coaches, and I'm going to give those rules to you right now. Rule number 1, Springer's rule of survival. Don't touch kids. Rule number 2, and wait, caveat to rule number 1 is in general. It could be anything, any reason. Rule number 2. All right, so rule number 1, don't touch kids. Rule number 2, don't steal money.
Yep.
Rule number 3, lock all gates. Don't prop doors. And rule number 4, don't do dumb stuff.
Don't do dumb shit. That's always been my thing.
Literally, don't do dumb stuff. Like, at the end of the day, you don't break those rules, you're going to be in education for 30 years and get a good little pension.
Yep.
You break one of those rules, we see it every single day. Such and such coach improperly touches a kid. Look, bro, get on a tangent here. There's 2 reasons I don't want to go to jail. One involves touching kids. One involves killing cops. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But look, we're going to get into some of the potential issues that you're going to face if you do get caught doing this stuff after this short break. As always, I'm Chad Springer with the greatest tag team partner ever, Chad Boudreaux. We hope that you are learning something today because this is a learning episode. Thank y'all for hanging with the Chads. Good morning. Welcome back to Hanging with the Chads. Chad Springer with the greatest tag team partner ever, Chad Boudreaux. We're over here talking about impermissible benefits. We're over here talking about NIL. We're educating the masses on the state of Florida. Again, these rules don't apply to your state. You can have your opinion, but it doesn't really mean nothing whenever our state says this is what we have to do. So real quick, impermissible benefits, things that are allowed, team meals, shared transportation, i.e. going to a game, getting on a bus, taking the team van, whatever. Standard team gear. You can give your gear to your team. Things that aren't permissible is paying for their individual personal transportation, paying for their rent, offering jobs and tutoring one-on-one, and then private access to trainers or camps. You can't provide that stuff. If you're your own trainer, I mean, you got to think about it. Give it to them for free. Don't make them pay for it. You shouldn't be charging your own athletes anyway. That's all I'll say. So we're getting into what's going to happen if you have to self-report, if someone investigates you, things of that nature. So we at the corner of Point Siena Boulevard and Pleasant Hill Road, we had to issue my very first year there in January, second semester. We had to issue in which a coach. I'm not going to get into all the details, but there was impermissible benefits provided to a student not at our school. You remember this clearly, Boudreaux. You know everything I had to go through. Let's just get into the nitty-gritty here. Anytime it is found that you are in permissible benefits, you are going to have an investigation. So we as athletic directors have to self-report. Type up the letter, go through, send it, submit it, and wait for the state to come back. Now, let's just be clear. If Boudreaux, if you're my coach, I'm just going to use you for an example because you're on my show with me. You're my soccer coach. I found out that you gave impermissible benefits to a student athlete. We're going to self-report, right? The state's going to come back, and the very first thing they're going to do is they're going to suspend you for 6 weeks. And ladies and gentlemen, the state suspends you, and we can suspend you as well as ADs, because the very first thing I did was start that coach's suspension because I knew it was coming. I knew the 6 weeks were coming. Okay. So 6 weeks. So from the first week of February till spring break, that's about 6 weeks. We'll say that.
Oh, and you put that in your self-report too. Like, what is your actions that you're going to take?
Yep. There obviously will be an investigation within the athletic department. We're going to suspend you until pending FSHA review. Now, ladies and gentlemen, when you're suspended for 6 weeks by the FSHA, you are suspended for 6 weeks by the FSHA. That means you cannot attend any interscholastic activity that is an FSHA activity. That means you can't go to any games. You can't be in the school after school hours with practices or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So you're suspended. If you're caught, I mean, that's just another thing they're going to add to you. And in our school district, you're not getting paid for that 6 weeks. They're going to dock your pay. So this process, this individual wanted to appeal. I explained the appeal process, that he would write the letter, he would turn it in, he would be financially responsible for any of the administrative fees that the FSHA has. And at the time, it was $223 that, was put onto our account. The appeal process came. He online watching it. He said his case. The head of the FSHA for the appeals looked and said, "You're still guilty, or not guilty, whatever. You're still, found to be whatever. The suspension is upheld, whatever." So In our school district, if you get hit with a policy 36 violation, what happens? You don't coach in our school district anymore. Now, teaching is a different. They can't take your teaching away. Let's be very clear on that.
Yeah.
But you will not coach in our school district ever. And or at least until this current regime is gone. And I don't see that happening for a while because
he just came in 2 years ago.
Yeah, literally. So you're done. and when you go find another job, you have to say, why are you not at school district of Osceola? Oh, I had a policy 36 violation. How many school districts are going to hire you? Because that suspension still carries over. Now, not just a suspension of 6 weeks. It could be longer if it's found to be very bad, but automatically a $5,000 forfeited pay. Let's clarify that. That is not a fine. It is a $5,000 forfeit of your salary. It could be part of your supplement and your teaching salary. It could be your teaching salary, or if you're just an off-campus coach, it can be your supplement completely.
Yep.
$5,000. That is not an option. This is one thing that this individual
learned. When you were talking about state statutes, that's a state statute. That's not FHSA. That's not a county rule. No, that is the state statute.
And that is non-appealable. You cannot appeal that. You automatically lose that money if you are found to not be in compliance and you are found to have recruiting and permissible benefits, whatever. That is a $5,000 forfeit of your money. They will take your teaching salary. So if you make $52,900 a year, as a lot of people make in this state, well, you're going to make $47,900 a year for 1 year. That is not an option. The only way you're not paying that, you leave the state, because every state runs their own education. But, ladies and gentlemen, this is legitly a state law. This is a policy that was created to prevent things like this. And that's just the first time. Mm-hmm. If you get a second or third, boy, you get a second or third up in here. Let me tell you, the second offense is a $5,000 forfeited pay again, a suspension for 12 months from coaching, directing, or advertising an extracurricular activity. Now, I don't know what that means. I'm assuming they're not going to let you post on social media. I don't know. That's crazy. If you get it a third time, this is the 3 strikes you're out rule, ladies and gentlemen. And this is coming straight from the FSHA website. A third offense is another $5,000 forfeited pay and a referral to the Department of Education of the violation, with the potential of having the individual's teaching certification or coaching endorsement revoked for 3 years. That's the only time a teacher is. But by then, they deserve to be fired.
Yeah,
I'm just going to be honest with you. I have no pity in that. So let's look at the steps. You lost $15,000 total in each one. You were suspended for a year from coaching, and then all of a sudden, they're going to revoke your teaching endorsements for 3 years. Boudreaux, you can't go to another state. You know why? Because reciprocity carries over. Mm-hmm. So if you try to go back to Louisiana, it ain't going to work. If I try to go back to North Carolina, reciprocity, not going to work. People, let's break something down for you. Who is part of the school's athletic interest? It's everybody required to take the Policy 36 class.
Everybody.
Admin, coaches, teachers, anybody is part of the school's interest. And per the state of Florida, because you know I like reading, per the state of Florida, it is,
and boosters is another one.
Yep, boosters are required to take this as well. It is a free class that you get to take online. So
it is hard to find, though. Like
Yeah,
you
gotta
gotta,
like
it's hard. You
Google.
gotta like search for it. It's hard.
Yeah, you got to Google for it. I mean, it's all good though. I send it. I got it saved on an email. I send it to all my coaches. So, you know, let's explain who the school's athletic interest is. Okay, so I'm pulling it straight up out of the policy that we're going to get into in a little bit about NIL. So it's 9.9.4.5, representative of a school's athletic interest. All right. So it basically breaks it down. Employee, athletic department staff member, representative of the school's athletic interest as defined by 1.417, which is a bylaw. Basically, it's anybody. It's anybody. A principal can get hit with impermissible benefits and recruiting. A booster club president can. A coach. Oh, okay, cool. What if they're a volunteer? They are still a coach. They are still representing the school's athletic interest. This is what and I'll tell you right now, this is what I tell my coaches. You can pick up the phone. You can call any one of my coaches. You have one of my coaches now that used to be at my school. Ask that coach what I say about athletics. Nothing gets said about athletics without coming to me first. You can go talk to anybody in the community, but make sure, I'm not telling you can't talk to them, but before you come and talk to me, make sure you talk to me so that I can let you know if that's acceptable to say or not. Like, I don't want to be blindsided because if I don't know, I don't know. That's on you, dog. But like my off-campus coach and my volunteer coach, I tell them, you don't speak to people in the community. You don't think that you can't be held accountable? It's a click of a button to end you as well. Like it's crazy, man. Like a volunteer coach can still be fired. A volunteer coach has to go through a clearance process with the state anyway. It's not that you just do it. And this is what the problem lies with a lot of people that think all they have to do. Our version of volunteer background check is OASIS. Whatever you do, you do. They just think you just got to go through OASIS and you're cleared. No, that's it. That's to go on Johnny's field trip.
Right.
In order to coach, you have to go through a background check and fingerprint, which is what I tell every one of my coaches. Just go through the sub package to where eventually all you got to do is hit a button and you get paid. You don't have to redo this all over again.
Yep.
Just say, hey, I got my sub clearance, but I'm going to volunteer. And if there's a spot that opens, I'll slide you into it. Because, and you know, I got volunteer coaches. And, hey,
I mean, I do the same thing because my thing is, it's like, especially like how we are, right? It's hard for us to find coaches to fill out an entire staff. So the process to become a volunteer coach is a lot faster than it is to be a paid coach. So exactly. I always tell coaches, I'm like, hey, right now, do the volunteer work. I'll push it through as a volunteer. And as that's going through, I'm going to push through your sub coach. So you can get on the field now, help out with coaching. And as soon as you're cleared, that's when your pay will start from when you're cleared. Mm-hmm. But if you want to get out there now, let's do it this way so we can get you through. And that way it's there and you can get you on the field now.
What I do is I tell them, make sure when you go get your fingerprints, you call the district first and say you want the paid fingerprint. It's like a J and a H or something like that. Say you want both of those done so that you don't have to go back and redo the fingerprints. That's the problem. And so and she's gone now. The greatest HR person we ever had is now retired. Ms. Hope. But you know, we just got to call HR and get it done. In order for you to even be on the field, you got to be a background check. If you don't have a background check, you can't be out there. You're putting kids at risk. I just met Johnny. I don't know if he's, you know, a dot on a map I can't take kids trick-or-treating to. You know?
Right.
As an athletic director or even a head coach, why are you going to put yourself in that situation? He wasn't out there already. What does it matter a day or two? Is it life or death? You've been out there already with damn one soccer coach. What? You've been handling it very well. Why is it so important you get a second one? You know, at the end of the day, like, you got to be cleared to be on the field around the kids. If you're not cleared, that falls on the athletic director, the school, and the school district. But, you know, the school district ain't going to take blame. So who are they going to blame? The athletic director.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. It goes back to this whole, like, NIL recruiting and permissible benefit thing, right? So if there's a guy out there that's not supposed to be out there and he's doing all the stuff, then the heck, if it's somebody who is the head coach's responsibility, but it's also your responsibility to be overseeing that to make sure. Like we drive around, I know you do too, at all the practices at the end of school. Drive around and you look around like, why is that guy out there? Why is that guy out there? Who is that? And you could see, like, I mean, we had a one that was out there. No one on our staff does this anymore. And the one that was doing it is no longer at the school. But it was like I had conversations to no end, and he kept bringing him out there, kept kicking him off. So finally, I started emailing. I would email the coach, and I had all my receipts. So as soon as somebody said something, I was like, here, this is what's going on. I've told him a million times not to be out there, and he's still out there. And then it wasn't our fault anymore. Like, it was like, okay, so it's on this guy now. So then they just went after him, and I protected myself. But it goes, like I said, it's going back to NIL recruiting and permissible. It falls on you as the athletic director, as a head coach. If one of your coaches is doing this and that coach isn't cleared, but they're out there doing all this, then that's on you for having them out there.
Yep.
Now, if they're out there in the community and they're no part of our school whatsoever, then it has nothing to do with us as a school. That's where the difference lies. Like, if they have no interest whatsoever, they don't have a kid on a team, they don't have, because parents fall in this too. They don't have a kid on a team, they're one of your friends that you want to bring onto your staff, but they're not on the staff yet. They haven't been going through any process whatsoever, and they're the ones doing it. It falls on that guy, not the school.
Yeah.
But if it has anything to do with somebody who's out there on the field already and he's not cleared, now it falls on you as the athletic department. And
absolutely. School. Yeah. Look, man, I tell all my coaches all the time, if you want to bring anybody in, bring them to me. I don't hire assistant coaches. You do. That falls on you. I hire head coaches. Obviously, I push the paperwork through. But that's why I even tell mommy and daddies at the parent meetings, mommy, daddies, sisters, cousins, brothers, twice removed. Our practices are closed practices. This ain't rec law. This ain't youth league. You're not just hanging out. If you're part of my chain gang on Friday nights, you go through Oasis because you're on the field. You know, if I had a off, site like person doing my book for basketball, I would make them go through Oasis because where are they sitting?
On the court, the scoreboard.
Yeah, if they're on the field of play, I just make them go through Oasis, not the coaching side of it, but just be clear to be around the kids.
Right.
So you dot your I's and cross your T's on that one. But understand this, ladies and gentlemen, everything in the athletic department with this stuff is going to fall on you. The first person they're going to blame is you. That's why when you said save emails, so this particular coach ran a fall camp and for a spring sport, fall ball. Let's just call it fall ball. And although it's a totally different entity, I still make them send me the names because our district has certain policies, especially when it comes to money, right? So I make them send names of who's out there, what school they go to, and what grades. And the case in point was a particular student was not in our school and not in the high school grades. That's all I'm going to say. And in the emails back, it's like, hey, you understand this kid cannot be here after your fall ball season's over. Come to find out, the kid was at tryouts, trying out, and tried to get put on the team. That's what started the whole thing, ladies and gentlemen.
Right.
And guess what? When they came to me, print, here you go. I had this done 5 months ago. I did my job. You know what I'm saying? So it's true. And we're going to take one more quick break, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for hanging out with us this morning. Hopefully you're learning something. I'm Chad Springer with Chad Boudreaux as always. When we come back, we're going to get started on NIL and what the difference in our NIL and, the University of Florida's NIL. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Hanging with the Chads. I'm Chad Springer, joined as always by the greatest tag team partner ever, Chad Boudreaux. Boudreaux, we're talking about Policy 36. We're talking about NIL. We know what impermissible benefits is. Now we're going to get at NIL. So we're talking about who counts as a representation of the athletic interest, and that's your coaches, your admin, your Booster Club member, your donors, and anyone affiliated with promoting the school's program. That is what the state defines as a representative of the athletic interest. So NIL, it isn't a loophole, ladies and gentlemen, to pay your kids and get them to come there, because the state of Florida says it cannot be used as a recruiting tool. Oh, okay. So we learned something there. High school athletes can profit through NIL, but you ready for the but? Give me a drum roll real quick. This is going to be a good one real quick. But not through any connected to coaches, staff, or school affiliated reps. That means, Boudreaux, you can't sign Messi's son out of Miami to play soccer for you.
Look, I'm going to break it down real easy. This is going to be real easy. If you're affiliated with the school, hands off. Plain and simple. That's it. If you're an AD, if you're a coach, if you're an admin, if you're a Booster Club member, if you're a parent of a student, hands off. Just don't deal with it. Literally, there's a whole, just send them to the FHSA website and say there's a whole thing that you can learn about it, enjoy it, have fun. Because that's literally what it is. That's what the rule states. All the gibberish and everything they have, it boils down to that. You are hands off. You can't set it up. You can't get them in contact with anyone. You can't have them wear your gear. None of that. So literally, that's where it's at. Just hands off. Send them to someone. Send them to the FHSA website. Send them to the form they have to fill out and be done with it. And that's literally the whole NIL right there.
Literally. This isn't to give them gear, cover their rent, or financial aid. It is a business deal with clear boundaries. And people, you got to stop confusing that. This ain't the UF NIL collective, okay? We ain't in college. Congratulations, college kids can get paid. Good job. They earned it. High school kids in the state of Florida can't, unless it goes through the proper channels, unless you fill the proper paperwork out. I'm not going to sit here and offer a kid NIL money to come to my school, because
it's against the rules.
If you are found to be out of compliance with NIL, you remember those $5,000 fines, all that suspensions? That applies to you. Look, ladies and gentlemen, this is to help you understand what's going on. We're not throwing guilt. We're not admitting that people are wrong. We're just giving you factual information so you can have an educated conversation. Because one thing I'm sick and tired of seeing on social media is people in other states who know nothing about our state, famous celebrities saying whatever they want. Oh, they're not for the kids. They won't let them buy food. Not one time did we say you couldn't buy food. Correct?
Yeah,
we said we're good. If it's a team meal.
You could do a team meal. And you could do a team meal every damn day if you wanted to.
Wait a minute, Coach Boudreaux. What about after the game? How are them kids going to get fed after the game?
You could do a team meal.
I got a dang Hungry Howie's deal, bro. They give us 15 pizzas after the game.
Yep, exactly.
8 times 15 is a lot of pizza slices.
Rule of thumb. If it's good for one, it's good for all. Everyone gets it or no one gets it. Plain and simple.
And Boudreaux, what about the kids that don't have food at the house? Well, they should already been identified by the school, correct?
Yes.
They should be what we call here in Florida fit kids.
Yep.
And at my school, I don't know if you do it, but I know at my school, my amazing ambassador program at my school, they bring out the huge beast, which is a huge, it looks like the sideline box for the NFL that has all their equipment in it. And it's filled with food. Kids can come and get like 4 items a day.
Yep. We have ours is in a classroom. Ours is in a classroom, and they can get like produce. They can get everything they want right there.
And I know that certain kids have been identified that every afternoon about 2:00 they go to the main office and they pick up their food specially for them. Mm-hmm. So I don't want to hear that we can't feed them, because we can't.
It's just you got to be smart about the way you do it.
You have to follow the rules
for everyone.
If you have a kid that signs an NIL agreement, they have to fill out the paperwork to the state, because the state has to know about it.
Again, though, you're hands off.
Yep.
You, as a school and as the athletic director, you're hands off. Mm-hmm. The only thing you do is just point the parents to that website. That is it. You don't say anything else. Just
Yep.
leave it at that, and you'll be fine.
Yep. It's crazy, man. Like people think that, you know, the rules are there to make everything on the same page. Equitable. I hate saying it equitable, but it's to make everybody equal. Okay. But I get it, man. Coaches spend money out of their pocket. Some school districts allow reimbursement of money out of pocket. Our school doesn't. Or excuse me, our district doesn't. I was at a school district where they did reimburse me if I bought stuff out of pocket previously. And that's fine. I mean, to each their own. But if you're not providing something for all and just some, I mean, it's not equitable. Like people talk about, oh, recovery. Almost every single school in the state of Florida has an athletic trainer. That's how your recovery should be. That's what you pay them. Most athletic trainers don't have to teach classes. They get a full instructional salary and a supplement. They should be doing the recovery.
Yep.
If it's a one-time thing of just getting someone you know to come out there, that's, again, to each their own one time, but don't go brag about it.
Again, though, it's just, like I said, if it golden rule, if it's good for one, it's good for all. And then when it comes to NIL, hands off. I mean, and then like what we do, because this is all a part of this whole policy 36 with the recruiting thing. Like you were talking about earlier, I literally just tell my coaches, if you get any emails, any phone calls, forward them to me. Just let me deal with it. Because again, there's only a couple things we could tell them. We have the sport. Here's the schedule. We start on this date. That's it. That's all you say.
Yeah,
and you can't say anything else.
Because we talked about what happens to the individual coach that gets found to be not in compliance. The problem is we haven't talked about what happens to the teams when they're found not to be in compliance. Because what we don't want to do is take away wins from a team. What we don't want to do is take away a district title, a regional championship, or even a state championship that those kids have worked hard for. What we don't want is to take away those kids' years of eligibility because receiving these impermissible benefits. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you're right. If it's about the kids, if you want to say you're about the kids, think about what's going to happen to the kids. It ain't going to be ring season. It's going to be, oh, man, I'm a junior. My whole senior year, I can't play sports. I'm suspended for a complete year. There goes my college. There goes my life. What are you going to do? What am I going to do now? There goes my college scholarship.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, think about it. Unless you're one of those star athletes, you may get a little something your junior year, but it's really reliant on that senior year for you to get to go to those mid-majors or those D2s, D3s, and AIAs. So if you get suspended your senior year, that's less time that you have on film.
Exactly.
And that you have to take a whole year off that sport. Do you honestly think a college coach would be like, well, he was good his junior year, I'm going to take him now? No, because they got thousands of other kids that are just as good that they can take.
Yeah, they're going in that portal, baby.
So
they're going in that transfer portal. Look,
just follow rules for the kids. Like my thing was when I was just coaching, I didn't want to do anything to where I had to stand in front of the parents, stand in front of the kids after we win some championship, after we win some title, and be like, guys, I need everything back. Because we didn't do that. Because I did something stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So why would you don't put yourself in the situation.
Don't do it. It's not worth it, ladies and gentlemen. Look, if we would have played any team or any games from that sport that I was discussing about impermissible benefits, we would have literally had to forfeit some games.
Like I've been lucky. The few that we've had, like you were talking about that one, the few that I've had that were policy 36 issues, it happened before the season started. So we were able to get rid of the coach before it all happened. So as a school, we did have to pay a little bit of a fine because, again, the school is still responsible. But because we put that action in before the state even came back with their findings that we were getting rid of the coach, he was no longer going to be with us, our fine was very minor. And we didn't have to be suspended for a year. We didn't have to lose any games that we won because we caught it before it got to the season.
And just remember, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give y'all my golden rule. not rule, but opinion. This is an opinion. This is 100% opinion what I'm going to say. So I don't want any backlash from anybody. If a school self-reports, that means there is something wrong. Do I agree? Do I get an agreement or no?
I wouldn't say that there's something wrong. I would say it would be more of something happened that we need to investigate, but we want to put you on notice that we're investigating.
Yeah, it's the I might have duck clause.
Somebody might have screwed up somewhere.
Yeah, that's what I mean by that. I might have duck. Can you tell me if I did or not?
Right.
But if someone self-reports, then something happened that could or could not be against a policy of any kind. You know, the main self-report you're going to see is ineligible players like an expired physical or something.
Right.
What you don't want to see is a certain state in which I used to live in, ineligible players the Thursday before the Friday night state basketball championship. And then they don't play. So if you're self-reporting, there's something that potentially could be wrong. And then obviously social media gets a hold of it, blows it up. But this whole episode was designed to educate the masses on what policies are in place for what reasons. You know, most violations happen without even knowing it, from not even knowing, not even from bad intentions, but ignorance is not an excuse anymore, ladies and gentlemen. All coaches are required to do this stuff, whether you're paid or volunteer. All coaches are required to take certain courses every year. Coaches, ADs, parents, you got to know the rules. The rules are posted for you. I know on my school website, I have a link to the FSHA website right there where you can go read. Nobody wants to read. Everybody's a lawyer at the end of it, though.
Again, it's a 30-minute class. It's free.
Yep.
All your coaches are supposed to take it anyway. Your AD is supposed to take it. Your principal is supposed to take it. Whoever's your principal in charge of athletics is supposed to take it. Your booster club president is supposed to take it.
Yep.
You're supposed to have parent meetings at the beginning of the season and just explain some of it to them. You don't have to go through everything because it can be monotonous and some stuff is just they're not going to understand it if they're not in this world. But you got to explain like the basics, like the way I break it down. Like just give them the basics. The way don't do this, stay away from that. If anybody comes up, send them to me. Keep it like that, and then we have a happier day. Granted, people are going to try to skirt the rules, like the old saying: "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying."
Good job,
but still, like there's things like just don't do it and don't do it. It's just there's no point. There's so many other ways. Again, would you rather have to watch your back after you win a state championship for the next year, 2 years, wondering if someone's going to catch you for breaking that damn rule?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden you call all the people back. I need everything back. I need the rings back. I need the trophies. I got to send them back over there. I need the medals back. I need all the stuff back to send back to state. Or you do it the right way. You win it the right way. You never have to worry about any of it. You're just like, we won. And you can sit there, you can look at that ring and be like, we did that.
Look at that banner, come back in 25 years when you're old and fat and celebrate.
Right.
So, look, hey, I'm just going to say this. We say we care about the kids. While we do this, is all about the kids, but this is where it starts. You got to follow the rules. The only way you care about the kids is follow the rules, protect your program, educate your staff. Because one mistake can actually cost you a lot, okay? I always say we're going to do the right thing even when no one's looking. That's the true meaning of integrity, doing the right thing when no one looks. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you listening to us ramble on today. Hopefully you learned something. And if you didn't, well, that means you don't live in the state of Florida. At the end of the day, I'm Chad Springer. You're with Chad Boudreaux, the greatest ever tag team partner ever. Boudreaux, how are we going to end the show?
Hey, man, get better.
Hey, get better. Get better at knowing the rules. How about that? Get better at knowing the rules and understanding the policies. Because if you get better at that, then you ain't going to have to worry about the consequences. We appreciate you. We love you. Thank you for hanging with the Chads, ladies and gentlemen. We're out.